In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a graph in Google Drive. So basically, I have my email opened right now, and this is how I get to Google Drive. But you basically would log into your school email, and in the top right corner, there's these 9 dots. You give those 9 dots a click, and then you click the Drive button, and that puts you into your Google Drive. Once you're in your Google Drive, you may have some stuff that you've uploaded here. If you don't, it's really a great tool. I recommend learning about it, and if you want help with it, I will happily do that. But what you want to do then is you want to create, and then you're going to create a spreadsheet. Okay, so you're going to create and then a spreadsheet, and this would be where you put lab information or lab data, I should say, you've collected by doing an experiment in class. And so when you want to do a formal lab write-up, you typically want to make a graph, and to me personally, I'm not a real good artist, so making a graph on a word processor such as like a spreadsheet or something like that, to me is a much better way than me trying to freehand and draw it. It just turns out a lot nicer. So I've already created some test data. I labeled this spreadsheet graphing lab test. Now you can call it whatever you want. I could rename it right now and call it gobbledygook if we wanted to. But anyway, I put some numbers here in my A column. This is where I'd put my independent variable. Okay, so my independent variable in this experiment is time. And then my dependent variable would be like the number of bubbles we'll say produced. Okay, so let's say I'm blowing bubbles with a bubble wand. And as time progresses, you can see that the number of bubbles produced increases. Okay, so that's hunky-dory. Basically, I got that data by running an experiment and collecting information. Okay, and clearly this isn't a real great experiment because I've only done it once, but here's the information. Okay, so how do I make a graph out of it? Well, basically, I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to highlight all this data, and then I'm going to go up to the top here where it says Insert, and I'm going to say Insert, and then down in the towards the bottom, there's something that says Chart. Okay, so I'm going to insert a chart, and I give that a click. And you'll get to this page, and on the top here you have Start, Charts, and Customize. I'm going to click Charts, and I'm going to pick what type of chart I want. Typically in this class you're going to be dealing with a scatter plot chart, so you're going to give that a click, Scatter, and then the one with the red and blue dots on it already, give that a click, and you will see your chart here. Okay, it looks beautiful, right? Basically, there's no line on it yet because we haven't told it what type of line we want to put. But and you'll notice there's no labels on your axes, and then it just says chart title, which all looks kind of silly right now. So in this next tab, there's this tab that says Customize. If I give that a click, you'll have all these options on what you can do. So I'm going to change the title to basically number of bubbles, I'll say produced. Okay. And you can change it if you want it bold and the color and all that good stuff. But you give that a click, and now it says number of bubbles produced. Wonderful. I think you can even mess around with the background and all that good stuff. I haven't done much with that, so I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, if you want to, you certainly can. And then here we have the axes. The horizontal axis is going to be your independent variable, and for me, in my case, that was time, and that was measured in seconds. I'm going to just write that in, time measured in seconds. The vertical axis, the left vertical axis, was going to be number of bubbles. Okay, so I'd write that in, okay, and let that be there. So now I have my axes labeled, I have a title, so things are looking kind of good. So you'll notice here that there's no line through these dots, and so I'm going to fix that right now. Down here in the bottom it says trend line, and right now it says none. I'd like to put in a trend line, and the line I'd like to put in probably is linear. Typically most of the labs in this class will be a linear trend line. Sometimes you might use exponential, but for this one it's going to be linear. So I'm going to give that a click, and now I have a line of best fit. Okay, you'll notice it just goes through as close to all the dots as possible. If you want to label that line, you certainly can. It says trend line for number of bubbles. That's fine. I personally would say take the label off, so it says label and it says custom. I would just say none. And so you have no label, and then now you have just this nice trend line. And then you can click insert, and here you've got a picture of your graph, and here's your data on the left, graph on the right, and these are things like you can import this graph into your Google document that you might be writing for your lab report. You can print it, you can do all sorts of different things for it, but to me this is a pretty useful tool to make a nice what I would consider to be kind of professional looking graph compared to just saying use a pen or a pencil and try to draw something like this. hopefully that helps you out with maybe creating some graphs on Google Docs. Again, if you have questions, you can certainly see me in class. I'll see you guys in another video.